Right, so I'm just leaving the garage. A nice little drive ahead of me to sunny Scotland. I'm going to pick up a 2019 Mercedes Vito. It's a nice one with alloys and all the windows and the seats in the back, and that's for Dan. I think he's decided to give the Velar to his girlfriend, and he's going to use this for just as daily and for weekends, because he needs something that he can just put everyone in and just go out for trips and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a nice 3.5 hour journey ahead of me now. I'm just going to get straight on the motorway now and head up that way. Booked in to pick it up at 12 o'clock. It's now, I'm on my way and it's 8 o'clock. So should be there in time. Left myself half an hour, you know, wiggle room. Right, to be honest, me and Liam had nothing to do with buying this one. Dan basically walked into the garage and told us he bought this Mercedes Vito. It's had a good old smack on the front corner. Let's hope it's not too far gone, but we'll only know the true extent of the damage when we get there and it's in front of us. So here we are, just arrived at Whitburn Copart. See how they are. Now I've got to say, this is the best car park I've been in for Copart. It's all concrete. Every other one's been basically stones, gravel, hardcore, that kind of stuff. I'm going to go on the app now and tell them I've arrived.
A few moments later.
There she is, I think, eventually. Yeah, that's the one. There she is. Get this on here. F***ing terrible. Rough bastards. So the damage is a bit worse than we first thought. There's dents everywhere in every panel. Some idiots took the stickers off with a knife again. So it might be another full respray. Oh. Right, that's it all loaded up, strapped on. The van's in a lot worse condition than it looked in the photos. Every panel seems to have a dent on it or a scratch. Whoever took the stickers off was a friggin' idiot. And they've scratched all the panels where they've took the stickers off. So it's looking like this might need a full respray. But we shall see. I'm gonna get back on the road now. Another 3 hours, 45 minutes back home. I'll stop at a chippy, I think, and get some food because I'm starving. I'm up Scotland, so I might see if I can get some haggis. I'll show you around the vehicle properly when we get back and we can talk about it. I'll show you it all properly, but it's not looking as good as it did in the listing, like, at all. But I suppose you should get used to that now, because every time we pick one up it seems to be worse, but it is what it is. You can't get up and check it, you just got to buy it. Right, so before we crack on with today's video, I want to just take a minute to thank today's sponsor, which is Vehicle Score. Vehicle Score is an online car checker which tells you about your car's history, whether it be on finance, whether it's stolen or categorised. So if you're in the market for buying a car, don't just buy it, Vehicle Score it. And don't forget to use code TVR20 at checkout for 20% discount, or click the link in the description below. So what we've got to do is enter the reg, which is Sierra November 19 Kilo Victor Uniform, and click check car. So here it's given us a score of 678 out of 999, which is saying it's not bad. It's 5 years old with 127,000 miles on the clock from its last MOT. Average yearly mileage is 25, which is quite high, and the comments for the MOT are okay. So next bit, we scroll down, and this is the really important checks. This is what you want to be doing before you buy any vehicle. We always go for the Ultimate Plus, as it's the best package. It tells you if it's ever been imported, if it's salvage, gives you a score breakdown, tells you if it's on finance, if it's an ex-taxi, if it's ever been scrapped, it tells you all sorts. So this is the check we recommend. And if you use code TVR20 at checkout, it'll save yourself 20% and you'll get it for £9.56, bargain. So after you've put in your payment details, it'll generate your report, which takes not long. So now that the report's generated, we're going to check out if there's any red flags why we shouldn't buy this vehicle. So as we scroll down, we can see it's got an amber warning for insurance category, which we sort of know because we're buying it off Copart. And it's got an amber warning for being an ex-taxi. Again, we know this as it still had the stickers on for the taxi company. But the most important thing is there's no outstanding finance on it and it's not stolen. So it's good to go really, as we already knew these bits. So there we have it, car's all checked. It didn't flag up anything that we didn't know. So again, I want to just say a massive thank you to Vehicle Score for sponsoring today's video. And don't forget to use code TVR20 at checkout or click the link in the description below to save yourself 20%.
So I don't think Dan quite knew how badly this vehicle was damaged when he was buying it.
Yeah, but we'll show you the vehicle now. I'll keep the damage away for a second. It's a 2019 Mercedes Vito. It's been used as an airport bus. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't look too bad in places.
Oh, it's clean.
The nice tinted windows.
Inside's fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 seats in the back, 3 in the front. So it's massive, like.
The only thing with it though is he's gonna have to go and do a license, isn't he?
I don't.
For 9 seats.
Yeah, well. We used to build welfare vans for a company, and he had to fit 4 seats in the back to make it legal for everyone to drive.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some kind of license you have to do for this many seats. But anyway, that's Dan's problem. No airbags have gone off, which is mad. But we'll slowly get round to the damage here, which is on the front driver's corner. So we're going to do a few modifications for this as well. We've already got some ideas of getting some nice swamp alloys on it. And as you can see, the damage is creeping in here, and it's.
I think he wanted to be slightly off-roady.
Yeah,
slash
campery looking.
Campery sort of looking.
Yeah, look at this. Wallop. I don't think he quite realises how bad this is. And I mean, that bit, not so bad. That's easy. It's when it gets into down there's bent. It's smashed the hinges in, which has knocked the door back. So the door is actually, I can get my finger behind that, and it's overlapping the sliding door, basically. It's bad, like. The door does open with a good old yank. There we go. So, it's not damaged.
Did you shut that properly, did you?
Not damaged this, it's only touched that bit there, which is not bad. So this bit's fine. This sliding door looks alright. It is just the hinges where they mount. But yeah, no airbag damage. It's got 2 keys. What's it got on the clock? This about 140.
Yeah, it's up there, like.
Yeah, because it's been used as a
taxi.
Seatbelts are gone. Well, this one's gone. Ah, that's a point. Let's check all the rear seatbelts. I don't think they will have gone, because I don't think they'll be on the SRS system, you know, the airbag system. But we're gonna have to check them, because if they're all gone.
Did they only go though if someone's got them plugged in?
No, some seatbelts just go anyway.
Did they?
Remember what we bought and the back ones are gone, but
oh, yeah,
they were
tight.
They were retracted and they were really tight. Yeah. Yeah, this one's gone. This centre seat one.
That's it.
That's a goner. That's really tight. Let's hang on. Let me just get the key off here. So we've had this now a week or 2, but we've been doing other things. So it's basically stuck on the trailer. It doesn't run. And I'll show you why it doesn't run in a second. Right, 133,000.
Every back seat's lovely there.
Right, so back seat belts, we've got away with them. This one is like a bloody guitar string.
Is it?
Yeah. And it's in the centre of the seat. I don't know how you replace them ones.
Oh, we'll find out.
Listen to that.
That one's gone as well.
Yeah, so 3 front seat belts have gone, but the airbags didn't go off. None of the airbags have gone. So sort of lucky in a way, but not in another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you haven't got to do a dash.
Yeah. That's a biggie, like the dash.
Yeah.
So, still shuts the door, just not very good. We've also noticed that wheel's been pushed back about 40-50 mil.
Yeah.
So, and all this, it's damaged here. Yeah, there's. We think this is why it's not starting.
The fuse box is full on, got it.
Yeah,
It's in a bit.
smashed, and half these relays were out as well. So we've Googled where they go. They could be damaged, you know, they could be in the wrong place.
Could be still some missing.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, that's smashed.
Loads of chopped wires.
Loads of, yeah.
Everything's...
And this as well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. So where the fuse box has gone back, here, that's ripped there. It might have split a few wires in there.
Oh, it's not good, that. Like.
Yeah, yeah, which is going to be an absolute nightmare.
To be honest, with the amount of soldering that we're probably going to have to do on this, there's a good chance it might be better just try and see how much in the loom is and buy a new loom. Alright, okay. It's going to cost a few quid, this thing.
It's all done.
Why?
Some tissues.
You're going to need to use it.
You're going to cry. Well, yeah. All attached to, obviously, the inner chassis. That's basically behind the dash. This is the shock tower. And what we think's happened is when it's been crashed, this has been pushed down and in. Because, just shut that door.
Is that a serious whack down?
Got a gap there.
A lot worse than what I think it probably
To,
looked like on the...
to there.
Yeah.
So all this has come down, including all this.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And basically...
We'll have to find someone...
You're going into G territory.
Oh well, yeah, well into that. Right, so after assessing the damages, we've come to the realisation that this is not something we're going to be able to do, as we're going to need a jig, and it's going to need clamping to the metal and pulling it back into shape before you replace the metal. So now we're going to have to look for a jiggist to do it, but in the meantime we're going to look for a fuse box, get that bought, and then get the car mobile so it can be moved about. Right, here's a good one for you. Today we're going to be trying to swap a fuse box on Dan's Vito that he's bought, as he needs it moving, but we've come to it today and it was a run and driving vehicle. We've moved it, but today it's not even trying to crank, is it? Cranked once, didn't it, and then stopped.
Pop something by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we found a wire off on the back of here. Now we did have a problem with the relay and we were just pushing it to make it work, but we've swapped the relay now and that's not working. We found a pop fuse, which was at the 25. And again, it's still not starting, so...
I mean, you couldn't ask for anything worse than a smashed up fuse box.
Yeah, really. Look underneath, it looks like it's crunched a couple of the wires here as well.
Them ones there are knackered, so...
Right, so there's the old fuse box off. There's the new one ready to go on. I've just got to figure out all this wiring. It all only goes in one place-ish. So we should be alright.
Yeah, you can only get it wrong a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Have headlights coming on when we're trying to start it and stuff. And so there we go. There's the new plug on. There's the old one, all smashed. Get rid of that. And they're all on and taped up. We didn't have any heat shrink, which we'd normally do, but don't got any, so that's gonna have to do. It's insulation tape, so it's the right stuff, but it's not quite as neat. But it's going to be in the fuse box and you're not going to see it anyway, so I'm going to get this on and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all coming together. And just to avoid any future issues, I'm going to clean these up with the drill and the wire wheel. And so these have all got a nice clean contact. It should be fine just bolting them on, but it'll always be better if they're nice and clean. If you don't know what the noise is, it's Liam's sister f***ing about. Right, so it turns out that the fuse box we've bought, obviously we knew that plug was different, but we sorted that problem. If I lie this one next to it, forget about the relays. See the fuse there? You got 1, 2, and then gap, and then 1, 1, 2. It's missing, so we thought, now we just moved the fuse, but there's actually no prong in there. And after looking on this, that's got a wire going to it, so there's also 2 here, 2 extra ones in this one, and they're not in this one. So what we're going to have to do is take all these banks off and swapped them onto here. So not as straightforward as we planned, but we'll make it work. We'll get there. So that's the next job.
Go on.
Did you say go on?
Yeah.
I said hold on.
Oh, the old that. Right.
Flying mate. Right guys, so we managed to find a jiggist who's willing to work on the vehicle, and we've showed him it, but he's recommended we buy a good chunk of the vehicle so we can unpick any metal bits he needs off it. And we also need all the bodywork, bumper, headlights, so we can line everything up, because he wants to fit it all doing the job to ensure it all lines up. So we're looking for someone who's willing to let us cut the front quarter of the Vito off. Feels weird this, lad.
Gotta drive from the middle seat, can you see that?
I feel like I could whiskey throttle that easy.
Right guys, so today we've managed to find someone up in Sheffield who's willing to cut out a chunk of van for us.
So basically we're going to take out the whole chassis leg from this side. He's going to cut it up here somewhere and at the bottom of the sill. So basically we're going to have all this metal work to send to the jiggist, as he wants it all there when he's pulling it. So he's also got a few of the other bits that we need as well, like bumper, bonnet, headlight. What else did he say he had?
Slam panel and wing.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get ourselves up there. Not our asses. we're gonna get ourselves up there and get some parts.
That's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so we've just noticed as well that the VIN number's in the crushed bit of inner wing. So I don't really know what we're gonna do to get around that there, but I'm sure the lad who's jigging it will understand or know what to do with it somewhere down the line, I don't know. So the crack with doing Dan's Vito is the fact that Dan needs his van doing quickly, and we don't know anyone that's got a jig or anything like that closer to us, so we've had to find someone who's, where did Manchester? We found someone in Manchester who wants to do the jig work, but he wants to do all the jig work, weld everything in and bolt everything on so he can make sure it's dead right before giving it back to us. So we're not going to actually get a chance to do much on this van, which doesn't really bother me because we've got loads on at the minute anyway, but it's more the fact that Dan needs the van back soonish, so that's the only reason why we're getting it outsourced basically. But when we get the van back, we're going to be doing all the little modification bits, and he wants something doing on the inside as well, just to make it stand out from the rest, and just make it a bit more exciting for the kids when he goes away, I think. Right guys, so we've got all the parts in the back of the van here. We've got bumper, quarter of a van. We'll show you this better when we get back to the unit. Bonnet, wing around the other side, and a headlight inside the cab because I don't want it sliding around and getting scratched. And then we're all strapped down. All strapped down and ready to go. Well yeah, that's a monster piece, that, like. But we'll show you exactly where that's going to get cut and where the lad's going to weld that in properly when it gets to it, because like I say, we're not doing it, he wants to do it because just to complete the full job, so he knows his work's right. But yeah, it's a monster piece. He was only going to cut it over here somewhere, but we've asked him to just don't waste your time, mate. If you don't need that bit, just chuck it all in and we'll take it ourselves and we'll just chop out where we need. So yeah, that's what we got. So we'll see you when we get back to the unit and we'll explain it a bit better then.
Right, so now that we're back at the unit, we think we've got everything we need for the jig man to get this van straight again. So we managed to get a door, a wing, a bonnet, a bumper, a headlight and a slam panel, and most importantly the front corner of another Vito. So we're going to try and load it all into the van and get it up there to him. But it turns out this big chunk of a van won't fit in Dan's, so we're going to have to take the tipper anyway.
Now today we're just going to be running around and doing a few errands. We've got to take Dan's Vito to the jig man so we can get pulled, and we've got to actually go to the fella's house and swap the wheels for that as well, just to get a few little things boxed off. So we've got Joe's wheels in the back of here, we've got Dan's quarter of van which needs welding in. Now the problem we've got with the van there is we haven't got a jig to be able to do the jig work ourselves, and the fella who's doing the jig work wants to basically build the van up himself just for just so he knows it's right and he's not like pulling bits, because like he could pull the van to somewhat and think it's right, give it back to us, we come here, we build it back up, and it's not quite fitting or the panels don't fit properly. So he'd rather build everything up there and know it's right when he gives it back to us, and then obviously when we get it back we can strip it back down to somewhat degree, fix all the little bits that need doing to it, like it needs a new shock tower and it needs a new strut on it, and wishbone's bent, and there's a few other bits that are a bit mangled on it still, but it's good enough for him to put on his jig and pull it straight. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to go all the way to Stockport. We're going to go to Stockport. Both jobs in Stockport, which is handy. Wheels and taking the van. So we'll let you know when we get there. Right guys, so we just dropped the car off at the jig man. There she is. SN Car Body Repairs. There she is, dropped off. So the next time you see this, that won't look like that. It'll be a full van again. Basically look like that side. Obviously I'll have a different coloured wing. The bumper won't be painted in black, it'll be plastic. And yeah, should be pretty much a full van again. There's still lots of work for us to do once we get it back. Like you say, the wishbone's knackered on the other side. All the suspension strut needs changing. There's still problems with the fuses for starting it, because we had to bodge something last time to make it work. We need to get the windscreen sorted. There's still loads of stuff for us to do on it, but it's here. The lads are going to sort it out. It was only 1,500 quid as well, which to me I thought was quite cheap, and that's for them to cut it out, pull it all, cut it out, weld everything back in, and then build all the van back up for us, which I didn't think was too bad at all. So yeah, basically that chunk of metal there will go straight back in there. So we'll see what it looks like next time.
So that's it, the Vito's dropped off now, and we're just on the way over to Denton to see one of our subscribers, Julian, who we're swapping some wheels with. So it says they're going to be there in 17 minutes, 16 minutes. Yeah, so not far to go. We'll get there and swap some wheels.
Been quite handy the fact that everything's been in Stockport.
Yeah, it was. That's dropped on there, like, isn't it?
That's why I was trying to message him last night and get it sorted, because I knew we were coming to Stockport today. Get everything boxed off in one day.
Lovely day as well.
Yeah.
Right near Airport there now.
Right, so we just arrived at the subscriber's house now to get these wheels, but it's absolutely sweating hot. Busy choppers out as well. This is the subscriber's car. He's got all kinds of padding. He said you'll definitely see me drive because it's just full of all kinds of cars. But we're going to get these wheels off this.
I'm trying to find the wheels for him.
Yeah.
One of mine got nicked. I tried one of the. I got some fucking wider 18s off the Victor.
Yeah.
And I was trying them on, and I took both wheels off, left them in my back garden, got up in the morning, and both of them got fucking nicked.
Friggers, aren't they? You could do with a little touch up these ones, like, but they're the cleanest set we've found with good tyres for the straight swap basically, so no one's had to pay any money. Joe doesn't want these wheels anyway, so it's just one of them. It's just an easy thing to do.
Right, so I had the Touareg MOT this morning. Brand new caliper on it, new brake hose, and I said I was going to test it locally, but Dan's Vito's ready. So I'm going to test it up to Stockport, and hopefully the electrical issue doesn't rear its head. But so we're going to nip up to Stockport, which is only just under an hour away, so it's still fairly local, and give this a good run out, and we'll see what the van looks like when we get there. So here it is. Back together in one piece. There it is, all loaded on, ready to head back home. That was an absolute nightmare. Not loading it up, but payment, it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. But luckily enough, it's all worked out in the end, and eventually I'm back on the road. I think it's about 4:30 now, so I'm going to hit all the traffic, which is belting. It's a nightmare, so catch us back at the uni.
One eternity later.
Right, so there we are, back at base, and here's the van. I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest. Looks alright, just needs, I think it's getting wrapped, so things we've still got to do. We've got to put a screen in it, so that's gone. We've got to rebond that bit in. Fix all the dents, because I don't know if you can see them dents there. Quite a few. The other sliding door's worse. There's a little bit of wiring repairs to do where it got hit on the front. Yeah, look at this door. To be honest with you, can't see it that bad on camera, but it is quite bad. There's one. You can see that one. You can see that one. But there's loads of... There's a line there. There's a line down here. So anyway, there's a load of bodywork repairs we need to do. What else are we going to do? Oh, suspension damage. The suspension's further back this side, so it's got a bent wishbone on it, that needs doing. Seat belts, we need a full seat belt kit. That's done. So basically once the seat belts are done, windscreen, windows are in, bodywork's tidied, it gets wrapped. I think Dan's going to go for some Swamper wheels, which are a nice off-roady looking wheel with rugged tyres. So that'll be it then. But yeah, it's looking like a full van again now. Glad to be back. That took the mick getting back and paying. He used a different banking system to what we used, and I was there for about 2 hours trying to pay. It was an absolute nightmare. But we know for future. I think he's done good at what he's done. As you can see, it's all in there. Straight. This one. Now that mark there is where the door used to be. That's how far it got pushed back. So that's all been pulled back that way a little bit. I think this needs a slight adjustment, but we can do all the fine tuning. Needs an inner arch, it needs a plastic bit to hold that on. Then all the bodywork doing. But yeah, hopefully we'll get all that knocked out on the next video, because we don't want to drag this one on too long, and then Dan can use it for the family. So if you liked today's video, don't forget to leave us a like, leave us a comment, and you can subscribe as well. It's free. And don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for watching.